الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Every single person is desirous of success. He strives day in and day out trying to attain the success, both with regard to this world as well as with regard to the hereafter. But for some or other reason, this success seems to elude us. We are doing the right things as far as we are concerned, yet we cannot attain the success. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'min." That person who does good deeds, male or female, and he has iman, فَلَنُحْيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant him a pure life. That means in order to attain success, both for this world and akhirah, a person has to do good deeds. We may also be doing good deeds as far as we are concerned, but for some reason we have not attained the success. So the ulama have mentioned there are certain barriers, certain things which we overlook, which we neglect or we have forgotten about, that becomes a barrier, a hindrance towards us attaining that success. The first one is that we have knowledge, but we do not make amal, we do not act upon that knowledge that we have. We have ilm, but no amal. We always make this dua, Ya Allah, grant us beneficial knowledge. What is beneficial knowledge? Also it is mentioned in the hadith, Al-ilmu noorun. Ilm is noor. Having knowledge is not ilm. Having knowledge and then acting upon that knowledge, that is ilm. That is ilmu noorun. That is beneficial knowledge. Now when it comes to knowledge, as far as mostly with regard to dini knowledge, we feel that it is only the ulama, the learned scholars of Islam, that must act upon the knowledge that they have. For example, if a person sees an alim doing something wrong, he'll see a person, for example, inshallah it never ever happens, if a person sees an alim in the wrong place, a person who looks to be like a scholar of Islam, see him in the wrong place, like for example a casino, a nightclub, whatever it may be. You will say, that Moulana was sitting in this nightclub, that Moulana was sitting in the casino. That Moulana is answerable, but I'm not answerable. I was also there, but he's the one that's answerable, not me. He's the one making a mistake, not me. But by you saying that you've seen him there, you were also there. But by telling people, you are telling people, no, he's going to be answerable for it, not me. So we have this false perception that only the scholars of Islam, only the learned, only the alim will be questioned with regard to actually acting upon their knowledge, and not the jahil, not the ignorant person. But we must realize that every single person, no matter who he is, alim or jahil, will be questioned with regards to how much they acted upon the knowledge that they have. We know that we should not look at the ghair mahram, whether you're an alim or jahil. Why? How do we know that you know that? Because the ulama sit on this mimbar every single Friday and give us his advices. And we listen. But how much do we act upon it? We know we should not look at the ghair mahram, yet the moment we step out of here, our eyes has no control over our eyes. We don't even try to control our eyes. Day of Qiyamah, answerability. When it comes to looking at the ghair mahram, remember one thing, that what goes around comes around. It's a general rule. What goes around comes around. There was a person, he was a jeweler, one day he came home and he seen his wife crying. So he asked her, why are you crying? He said, we have this boy in our home, we grew him up from when he was a baby. He's like my son. Yet today, when he brought something to me, he touched me with lust. That's why I'm crying. So the jeweler, he also began crying. So she tells him, I know why I'm crying, why are you crying? He said, because it's not that child's fault, it's my fault. She said, how is that? He said, today I was in a jewelry shop and a lady came to me to buy some bangles and she was having difficulty putting it on. So I assisted her, and in assisting her, I touched her with lust. This is a repayment for that. So whenever we look at a ghair mahram, somebody is looking at our wives, our daughters, our mothers, our sisters. Whatever goes around comes around. Then we know that we should be obedient to our parents. We have parents who are alive, what a toppy knows. We should be obedient. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not even say oof to your parents. But with regard to parents, must remember, whatever sin a person commits in this world, the punishment is delayed till the year after. Meaning you have some respite that while you are alive, you can make tawbah and istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that sin, and you will be saved from the punishment of that sin. But when it comes to disobedience of parents, the punishment begins in this world. Whatever you do to your parents, your children are going to do to you. You are going to get the same punishment in this world. The only way to prevent it is to ask your parents for forgiveness. If they have left this world, sit and make lots of dua for them, make lots of isal sawab for them, and beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. There was a person, he had his father with him alive. The father was getting old when he's sitting and eating on the table. The father drops things, he eats food, he messes on his beard, and so on. So they said, this father is disrupting the harmony we have, the beautiful meal we are having, he's spoiling it by his aesthetic appearance, by his actions, and so on. So why don't we take him and put him in an old age home? So they took him to old age home and said, no, please don't take me. Leave me, give me one room, I won't eat with you all, I'll sit alone there, I won't be no trouble. No, it's best for you, we'll come visit you, they'll look after you, and so on. The normal stories. They left the old man in the old age home, the father in the old age home. He was kicking and screaming, don't leave me here, don't leave me here. They left him. Never mind, this person accepted his fate and he kept on living, he made the best of his situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him a long life. He lived for many, many years. And he became like a fixture in the place. He knew what was happening, he found his routine in the place. One day while he was sitting there, he seen a son bringing his father in there. And the father is kicking and screaming. Don't leave me here. No, we'll come visit you every week. Every now and again visit you, look after you. No, you lying, you're not going to do that. And like that, kicking and screaming, they left him here and they went away. This old man went to him to console him. No, listen here, don't worry, we are our family, we'll look after you. It will be okay, you'll get used to whatever is happening here. He says, I'm not crying because of this place. I'm crying because I did the same thing to my father so many years ago. This person ended up being his father. So when it comes to our parents, if you look after them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shower you with barakah and you will see the blessings of your respect to your parents, you see it in your children. When it comes to children, we must know something, that if I hurt you, if somebody hurts me, leave you guys alone, if somebody hurts me, it will be painful. But if somebody hurts my children, it will be unbearable. So if we want the best for our children, we should try and do the best for our parents. We have this knowledge. How many of us act upon this knowledge? That's the first barrier towards our success. We have knowledge, but no action on that knowledge. Many a time we feel that I have the knowledge that I should not steal, for example. I have the knowledge that I should not go on the internet and look at inappropriate things. This doesn't only apply to the youngsters, it applies to old people as well. This phone is an amazing thing. It has brought everything good and mostly evil into our pockets. But we feel that if I go in the middle of the night, I sit and look at haram things, I sit and steal from somebody without anybody knowing, I'm fine. But we do not realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain things jais and certain things halal and certain things haram. Why? For our benefit. Not if somebody sees you, there's no benefit. If somebody doesn't see you, there is benefit in it for you. There's no such thing. There was a person, he was driving with his colleague a truck. They came to a bridge. The bridge had a sign before the bridge, maximum height 3 meters, for example. Maximum height 3 meters. He stops, the driver stops, his colleague asks him, why are you stopping? He says, the board says maximum height 3 meters, our truck is 3.5 meters. So his colleague looks left, looks right, looks front, looks back and says, you can go, there's no cops around. That is how we think. We think that we can do something as long as no one sees us, little realizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made these things halal and haram for us for our benefit. So we should make amal on the knowledge that we have, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant us that success which is eluding us. The second barrier towards our success is that we do not take and benefit from the experience of our elders. In short, we do not make mashwara, we do not consult our elders. Whenever we have a decision to make, we do not consult somebody in a position of experience, consult them and take their opinion. Today we feel that if somebody has an opinion different from mine, he is my enemy. There were some people sitting in making mashwara for a masjid. So the architect said one thing. One of the people said something, one of the people making mashwara, committee members, he said one thing, the architect said something else. That person got upset, he said, I'll shoot you. The architect ran away, never came back. Why? Because the architect's opinion was different from his opinion. Today if I say I want to have chocolate milkshake and you say you want to have strawberry milkshake, you are enemies. Why? Why are you choosing differently from me? But it is a sunnah that we should make mashwara. Nabi Sallallahu made mashwara with the Sahaba Kiram. When a person makes mashwara, Allah SWT grants barakah in the decision. Whether it is a correct decision or incorrect decision, as long as you made mashwara, there will be barakah in that decision that you make. But look at it, if you make mashwara with 10 people, if you sit down with 10 people, make mashwara with them, 3 opinions hold no weight, for example. 3 opinions got nothing in them. Then from the remaining 7, let's say 4 are repetitions. But 3 are very good opinions. Now you have the choice of selecting the best of the best opinion, making the best of the best decisions. And maybe somebody else may look at something from a different angle. There was a sign I seen many years ago, I seen on the highway. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you look at something from your perspective, it may seem like a problem. It may seem like a difficulty. But if you change the way you're looking at something, from somebody else's point of view, somebody else will give you their point of view. And all of a sudden it looks like something which is of profit to you. When it comes to our deen, that is generally what happens. When we look at all of injunctions of our Sharia, we look at all the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fasting, keeping roza, going for hajj, performing salah, giving charity and so on. We think that these things are difficulties, conditions placed upon us. Little realizing that if we follow these, we are attracting the mercy and rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us contentment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us success in this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us love and muhabbat amongst our family members in our community. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us most importantly, success in the year after. So we should make mashwara with our elders. Why? Because they have experience. They've experienced all these things for their entire lives. Years of experience they can give it to you in one sentence. You know, there's a saying, what you get from books is what to do. And books teach you what to do. Experience teaches you what not to do. So we should make mashwara number one. And those of us that are older than others, we are always in a position where we are older than somebody else. We have more experience than somebody else. We should give them advices. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran about Hazrat Luqman alayhi salam. The advices he gave to his son, Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those advices so much that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even mentioned it in the Holy Quran. Another example is Imam Jafar Sadiq rahmatullah alayhi. He says that my father, Imam Baqir rahmatullah alayhi, gave me 5 advices. He gave me one advice where he said, "Oh my beloved son, do not befriend 5 types of people. In fact, do not even walk with them a few steps. Stay far from them." So he asked his father, "Oh my beloved father, which are those people?" So he mentioned, do not befriend a liar. Why? He will deceive you all the time. You don't know when he's being of benefit to you, when he's being of harm to you, when he's being truthful, when he's being deceptive. Secondly, do not befriend a stupid person. Why? In trying to help you, he's going to harm you. Thirdly, do not befriend a sinner. Why? Because he will sell you for a morsel and even less than a morsel. Meaning that if he has no qualms about breaking the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do you think is going to worry about your rights? What do you think is going to worry about your whatever you desire, whatever makes you happy? Fourthly, do not befriend a miser, a stingy person. Why? He will desert you when you need him the most. With regard to a stingy person, I have one experience that there was a person many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. He told my father, "I am worth 250 million rand." I can't even count till 250 million. Never mind, very wealthy, and over years he's become even more wealthy. But some years back, maybe about another 10 years ago, whenever there was any family function, he lavished his brothers and sisters with gifts, his nephews and nieces with gifts, money and so on. Eid time comes, he gives everybody, even the extended family, gives them lots of Eid. Any occasion comes, he lavishes them with gifts. But then a time came when his sister came to him and said, "Oh my brother, my husband was working in a warehouse and he fell on his head." However it happened, and that resulted in him having a clot in his brain. We went to a doctor, Baragwana Hospital, and the doctor said, "We can operate. We can cut his skull open and then go into his brain and remove that clot. If you don't, he's going to die." The other option you have is you go in a private hospital and pay them to do non-invasive surgery where they take a laser and they pinpoint the clot and they remove the clot. Somehow they do it. They remove the clot from your brain. That's going to cost you 100,000 rand. Invasive surgery, free of charge. Non-invasive surgery, 100,000 rand. Invasive surgery, very risky, you can die. Non-invasive surgery, very little risk. Chances of survival are great. So he tells his brother, "I need 100,000 rand. I don't have money. I need 100,000 rand." He responds and says, "I'll make dua for you." He sent down her way without giving her 1 cent. A little while later, he went for his operation at the hospital, and 2 days later, he passed away. Now he went to the funeral and they're lavishing them with gifts again. That is a sign of a stingy person. That is a true sign of a miser. Why? Because when they really needed him, all the gifts are immaterial. Giving me something which I do not need is of no benefit to me. But giving me something when I'm in need of it, that is when you come of benefit to insan. And if you cannot help insan with your wealth, with your health, with your wealth, with whatever you've got at your disposal, what are your benefit to insan? Fifthly, Imam Jafar Sadiq says that my father said, do not befriend a person who breaks family ties. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has warned against this numerous times in the Quran and Hadith. Like that, we should give advice to our youngsters, those people who have less experience than us. We should advise them when they are doing something wrong, when they are at a junction in their lives, when they are making a decision, an important decision, we should advise them. Whether they take our advice or not is immaterial. Our duty is to advise them. On the other side, when we are receiving advice, mashwara, we should take it and seriously consider that mashwara. And inshallah, whatever happens, whatever the outcome is, there will be barakah in that. If a person does not give his children advice, then what benefit is he to his children? The third barrier towards our success is that we commit sin at every turn and we do not make tawbah and istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single person, no matter how pious he is a sinner. And if any person says that I am not a sinner, that is a sinner. We commit sin all the time. We should make abundant tawbah and istighfar. Tuba liman wujida fi sahifatihi istighfaran kathira. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala congratulates that person who has abundant tawbah and istighfar in his book of deeds. The ulama mentioned that you should make istighfar at least 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhambi wa atubu ilayh. If that's too difficult, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. It comes in the Quran. One day I'll speak more on tawbah and istighfar briefly today. It comes in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ma kana Allahu liyu'adhibahum wa anta fihim. O Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I will not punish your ummah as long as you are amongst them. Today Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not amongst us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to His infinite mercy, continued. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. I will not punish your ummah as long as they keep on making istighfar. The benefit of istighfar, I can continue for another half an hour. We commit sin. We feel that I committed no sin today. Why must I make istighfar? We are taught that when a person performs his salah, one example, when a person performs his salah, salah is such a great ibadah, where a person is submitting himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's prostrating and bowing down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's putting his forehead on the ground in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All his attention is focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet after that salah, the brother taking photos and videos, please refrain from that. When we make Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, it comes in a hadith that you should say one time Allahu Akbar, and then 3 times Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. Why? To ask for forgiveness for any shortcomings, any lapses in attention, whatever shortcomings there is in your salah, you are making istighfar for it. كَانُوا قَلِيلًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ مَا يَهْجَعُونَ وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. There are people who stay awake most of the night, making ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when sehri comes, when fajr times comes, they turn and they make istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning they perform tahajjud. Tahajjud time they made lots of ibadat and worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when tahajjud time came to an end, they make istighfar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises these people. So every single person should make istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fourth barrier to our success is that we enjoy the ni'mas, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet we do not make shukr for this blessing. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you wanted to count the benefits of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will be impossible to do so. We do not even know all the blessings. We must make shukr for the blessings before they are taken away from us. Generally, we take everything for granted until such time it is snatched away from us. As far as the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes, if you ask somebody to count every grain of sand in this world, impossible. Every leaf on every tree on this world, impossible. Every drop of rain that falls on this earth, impossible. Every star in the sky, impossible. Let's say it is possible to count every grain of sand on this earth, every leaf on every tree in this world, every drop of rain that falls on this earth, every star in the sky. Even then it will be impossible to count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on each and every one of us. To give an example, while we are sitting here, how many times haven't we blinked our eyes? Yet we haven't even blinked an eyelash about it. We're blinking our eyes day in and day out, countless times. Even if you try to count all this blinking of your eyes, every blink you will lose count. Yet there was a person who met up in an accident, and for some reason nothing was wrong with him, just his eyelid was rubbed out. Everything else was fine. He went about his life. After a short while, he came to the doctor. He said, no, a lot of dirt is getting in, all this dust getting in there. It's disturbing me, it's irritating me. It's troubling me. Doctor said, here's the solution. Take the solution. Every now and again, clean that eye of yours. With a special cloth, clean it so it cleans it gently. He did it for a while. He went back to the doctor. He said, doctor, I've been cleaning my eye, like you mentioned. But I've been washing it so much over time that even touching it now is very painful. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept this eyelid and the secretions that come with the eyelid, and we're blinking and blinking and blinking, yet we feel no discomfort, no tenderness, nothing. That's such a great ni'mat. Like that, in every hair on your body you can find some and some ni'mat. There was a person, they were sitting together in the Jamaat, time to sleep came, he sat on a chair. He said, you're sleeping, why are you sitting on a chair? He said, no, I can't sleep on the floor, I have to sit on the chair. He says, why? He said, there's a little valve here. When the food goes down, it's a one-way valve. Food goes out, can't come back up again. That valve is not working of mine. When I lay down, everything comes out. The contents of my stomach comes out. I cannot enjoy the ni'mat of laying down. And today, after a long day of work, you go home and you put your feet up and you lay down and you stretch yourself out on the bed and you feel so comfortable. That person is deprived of that ni'mat. Yet how many times we made shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. One day Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sitting and a Sahabi came to him and said, oh Nabi of Allah, I haven't eaten for so many days, I'm very hungry, do you have anything for me? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a little bag next to him, he put his hand in the bag, took out one date and gave it to the Sahabi. Sahabi looks at the date and said, I am so hungry. This date is very small. Don't you have any more? I want more. I'm more hungry than this one date. He carried on like Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam turned his face away from the Sahabi, turned his face away, and eventually the Sahabi stood up and left. A little while later, another Sahabi came. And he said, oh Nabi, same thing. Oh Nabi of Allah, I haven't eaten for so long. I'm hungry. Do you have anything for me? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam put his hand in the same bag. He took out another date and said, here you go. He took that date and he began kissing the date. And he's saying, I'm the luckiest person in this entire world. My beloved Nabi gave me a date. Who is more fortunate than me to receive such a date? And he began thanking Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He began thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him, go to so-and-so's house and tell him, I sent you, they should give you something. He went there, they gave him a big bag of dates. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Make shukr for the ni'mats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's the best way to make shukr for the ni'mats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is use all this ni'mats in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make shukr for your hands, do good deeds with your hands. Make shukr with your legs, walk towards the masjid. Bow down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bend your legs, bend your knees, prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't use that legs, don't use that hands to commit haram, to steal, to walk towards zina and so on. Every occasion, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person has got a very comfortable job, a very good business, is living a life of comfort. He drives a car of his dreams. He lives in a house of his wife's dreams. His wife phone and ask him, "Oh my beloved, what do you want to have for supper today?" Imagine asking, "What do you want?" You have the choice to choose whatever you want. You come home, you get whatever your heart desires. There is a sign of a Jannati, a person who's in Jannah. Yet you ask the same person, "How's life going? How's business?" Hey, life is tough. Business conditions are difficult. The environment is getting more and more difficult by the day. Can't we at least open our mouth and say, "Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me so much more than I ever deserve." There isn't enough gratitude that I can make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me. We're living the lives of Jannatis with the ni'mats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet our hearts are so small we cannot even say Alhamdulillah. Make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you contentment. Let you attain success in this world and the year after as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to become obedient servants of His and remove all these conditions which are becoming a barrier for us to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and become a beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Before we continue, can brothers please come closer, and from outside the brothers can fill in the space at the back of the area. And wait. الحمد لله علي الذات عظيم الصفات سمي السمات كبير الشان جليل القدر رفيع الذكر مطاع الامر جلي البرهان فخيم الاسم عزيز العلم وسيل الحلم كثير الغفران جميل الثناء جزيل العطاء مجيب الدعاء يمين الاحسان سريع الحساب شديد العقاب يليم العذاب يزيد السلطان ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له في الخلق والامر ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث إلى الأسود والأحمر المنعوت بشرح الصدر ورفع الذكر وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين هم خلاصة العرب العرباء وخير الخلائق بعد الأنبياء. أما بعد، فيا أيها الناس وحدوا الله فإن التوحيد رأس الطاعات، واتقوا الله فإن التقوى ملاك الحسنات، وعليكم بالسنة فإن السنة تهدي إلى الإطاعة، ومن أطاع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى. وإياكم والبدعة فإن البدعة تهدي إلى المعصية، ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد ضل وغوى. وعليكم بالصدق فإن الصدق ينجي والكذب يهلك، وعليكم بالإحسان فإن الله يحب المحسنين. ولا تقنطوا من رحمة الله فإنه أرحم الراحمين. ولا تحبوا الدنيا فتكونوا من الخاسرين. ألا وإن نفسا لن تموت حتى تستكمل رزقها، فاتقوا الله واجملوا في الطلب وتوكلوا عليه فإن الله يحب المتوكلين. وادعوه فإن ربكم مجيب الداعين، واستغفروه يمددكم بأموال وبنين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخلين. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم، ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة. من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد، ومن يعص الله فإنه لا يضر ومن يعص الله ورسوله فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وأزواجه وذريته وصحبه أجمعين. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر رضي الله تعالى عنه، وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه، وأصدقهم حياء عثمان رضي الله تعالى عنه، وأقضاهم علي رضي الله تعالى عنه، وفاطمة رضي الله تعالى عنها سيدة النساء أهل الجنة، والحسن والحسين رضي الله تعالى عنهما سيدا شباب أهل الجنة، وحمزة رضي الله تعالى عنه أسد الله وأسد رسوله. اللهم اغفر للعباس وولده مغفرة ظاهرة وباطنة لا تغادر ذنبا. الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوهم غرضا من بعدي، فمن أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فببغضي أبغضهم، وخير أمتي قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم، والسلطان ظل الله في الأرض، من أهان سلطان الله في الأرض أهانه الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأجل وأتم وأهم وأعظم وأكبر، والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله، إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى، ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى. سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى. بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام فحينا بالسلام وادخلنا الجنة برحمتك دار السلام. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم إنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا مؤتي لما منعت ولا راد لما قضيت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. The collection taking outside